He done to Man City what Man City have been doing to teams for years. He was just in control. That was Lionel Messi. We were talking about that goal for months. Liverpool, I wouldn't say they're champions yet, but what I would say is if they beat Manchester City on the weekend, it's going to be very tough to catch them. So, a weekend of outstanding Premier League football. Manchester City losing 4-0 at home to anyone, never been known, let alone Spurs. My team, Aston Villa, poor yet again, 2-2 draw, probably deserved to lose to Crystal Palace. Big result for Liverpool as well, to come from behind and beat Southampton. And some interesting results at the bottom of the table, and especially with Leicester City and their manager, Steve Cooper, getting sacked. Interesting weekend of football, but here's what you've all been waiting for, my team of the week. So in goal is Dean Henderson. This was out of Dean Henderson and Onana. I thought Onana was outstanding as well, great saves. But Dean Henderson, kept his side in the game. Great save from Tielemans' penalty. Then his team go to the opposite end of the pitch and score. I could see him breaking into England squad. It's very difficult though because Pickford is the main guy. He's playing some great football as well, Pickford, for Everton. So it's going to be hard to get that number one spot, but I'm sure if there's any injuries, then you'd get there as number 2, definitely. My first defender is Ben Davies. Everybody, when they've seen the team sheet for Haaland hat-trick, Man City win 5-0, Ben Davies and Dragerson at the back, but they were both phenomenal, especially Ben Davies. He's getting on now, he's not at his youngest, but he was comfortable after the first 20 minutes. He didn't really see many chances for Manchester City, and that just shows you need them sort of players in the squad. You need them squad players who aren't going to moan about not starting, but when they're needed can come on and do a great job, which Ben Davies did. So next defender is Lamina. Defensive midfielder is what he is, but he played defence against Fulham. I thought he was outstanding. I really like him as a player. I remember him at Southampton. He will get in. He will get stuck in defensively. Very good on the ball. And that showed for the first goal for Cunha. Outstanding ball right into his path. Great finish from Cunha, but that comes from the defender, Lamina. And I just feel that he's one of them players that Gary O'Neill trusts, and he's really stood up in recent weeks. So my next defender is Porro. I thought he was outstanding again, flying forward, defensively as well, to get a clean sheet. But what I loved the most was for the goal that he scored. I think it was the third goal where, Solanke gets put through by Kulusevski, and you see Akanji jogging back, you see Foden jogging back, but Porro breaks his neck to run past them both and then go and score unmarked. It just showed that Spurs weren't scared of City, and that was every single player. Udogie could have been one as well, but I thought Pedro Porro was fantastic. When he's on that sort of form, he's unstoppable. Yeah, so midfield, first midfielder is João Gomez. He's a player that I like. He shows passion in games. I've seen him get so angry at how Wolves are playing, and he shows that intensity in games. And I thought against Fulham he was fantastic. Got a great goal, great movement to get into the box, and that finish is not easy. Left foot, weaker foot, low into the bottom corner. Also set Cunha up for his second goal as well. So he got a goal and assist. I just think he's one of them players that will start getting better and better now with confidence. And there's a reason why he gets into the national team squad as well. I think this performance has been coming from Wolves. They've got some good players. I mean, yes, they've had a poor start to the season, but you look at some of the players that they've got. Even the bench that they brought on as well. They've got some very exciting players. And, I think the way Fulham play as well, a bit open, it suited Wolves. Yes, Sam Morsey got into the team because I'm watching the game and I haven't watched much of Ipswich this season. They've not been on TV a lot. their games. But watching him live on TV yesterday, he was outstanding. He was physical. He was aggressive. He didn't show respect to any Manchester United players. He was kicking players in the right times, but he can also play. And I think there's a reason why he's the go-to man in that midfield. They brought in Calvin Phillips, but Morsey's a better option for sure. And I just thought his all-round performance just showed what Ipswich are about. They can play, but also they show fight and determination. Well, this player, James Maddison, if Thomas Tuchel's watching, I mean, Maddison will be in the squad from now because he's been very unlucky to not be called up for England. I'm sure he's been very angry and disappointed, lost his place in the Spurs midfield as well. But this was a performance of a player that says, I know how good I am. Let me go and show it. He was everywhere. He done to Man City what Man City have been doing to teams for years. He was just in control. He was picking the ball up in his own penalty area and turning and popping 1-2s. Then not to talk about his first goal, that run into the box, late run, Frank Lampard-esque run into the box and finish, an outstanding goal. And his second goal, to make that run, he showed fight and determination to get into the box, and then what a finish. That was Lionel Messi. We would be talking about that goal for months. Outstanding finish from James Maddison. And and his team have got to show this week in, week out. Not 1 week and then lose to Ipswich. They need to show consistency as a team. So Saka had to be in there. I think he's in nearly every one because he's Mr. Consistent, turned up, started the game where you need an early goal to settle the nerves. What a goal. When he receives that ball, I've not seen a player in that attacking third who's so strong, such a small guy. The ball comes into him, he'll hold off defenders, little 1-2 with Odegaard. Then he takes his time, doesn't shoot straight away where you expect, takes the extra touch. He knows Ward-Prowse is following him, who's not the best defensively, and then gets his shot into the far corner. I just felt his all-round game could have scored 2 or 3 more. He was outstanding, and he's the sort of player that Arsenal need fit at all times. So into my forwards now, and Kulusevski, who I was harsh on last season, I didn't think he was performing at the level that Spurs needed, but this season he's been their best player. The way he can play in a number 10, play off the right, play anywhere you want. He shows intensity, he's fit, he shows energy, but he shows composure on the ball. That ball for Maddison's goal, there's not many players that can pick out the right amount of power to float that into his stride. And also he's just shows energy. I mean, later on in the game, he could have scored. He ran through and keeper made a save. I just think he's the sort of player that is the first name on the team sheet for Ange Postecoglou. Fit, can run, and he shows class on the ball as well and determined. I feel that Kyle Walker wasn't at his best, but I think what we have to realise is that Kyle Walker's 34, and maybe Kyle Walker isn't as quick as he once was, and maybe he will know that now. And the last goal where Werner paced him, he sort of gave him a yard because he thought, you won't dare try and run me. But now players are trying to run him, so he needs to be a bit more clever and maybe get a bit tighter and not give players a yard. Vardiol, I think sometimes his goals have masked over his performances. He's not a left back; he's a centre back, and he's getting found out a bit now at left back. So I think he's another one that needs to go back to centre back. And the other winger is Sarr. When I seen him on the team sheet against Aston Villa, I thought, oh no. I thought, this guy's rapid. Aston Villa were interested in him a couple of years ago. And he just played the game that I feared that Crystal Palace will play on the counter-attack. And we are so poor defensively, Aston Villa. He just ripped us apart. I mean, some of the runs that he had and the chances he missed. But his goal, Maatsen is one of our quickest players, and he ran past him like he wasn't there. Took his goal well as well, composure, bent it in the bottom corner. But he was a threat all game. When you've got that speed in your team and you're going away from home, you've got to use it. And credit to Palace, they used his pace well, and he was a threat all game. Yeah, final player is Cunha. Where do you start with this guy? He's outstanding. Plays for Brazil, gets picked in their squads. But what I love about him is, even though Wolves have been struggling, he's still been performing. He's still getting on the ball in difficult areas. His first goal, yes, the pass makes the goal, but great first touch and great finish. The second goal, self-belief to take on that shot and bend it into the top corner. And also, I think he gets an assist for João Gomez. But he's just an outstanding all-round player, and he's one of them players that even if you're Man City and some of these bigger teams, you're looking at him and you're like, okay, I wonder what Wolves will sell him for, because he's better than Wolves. No offense to Wolverhampton Wanderers, but Cunha, who's playing for Brazil, should be playing European football, and I think he's been outstanding. And finally, my manager of the week has to go to Gary O'Neill. Been a tough start to the season for him. Everyone's questioning his job, but to get his team to go and beat Fulham away 4-1, and Fulham are flying this season, an outstanding result. And I'm sure now he can breathe with his coaching staff and say, "Ooh, I still got my job," because he will look at it and see Leicester City sacking Steve Cooper. Similar points to Wolves as well, around that bottom of the table. So he'll be thinking that was an important win. Maybe if they lost to Fulham, he might have been the next one. So outstanding performance from Wolves and from Gary O'Neill. So that's my team of the week. Some poor performances from Manchester City, from Villa. So none of their players make it this week, but some new faces as well, which is always what you want, to pick players on how they perform, not just big names. So that's my team of the week. If you like it, or if you don't, still comment below.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.